Close your eyes and let us travel through time, across frozen winters in medieval Europe, into the glittering yet perilous court of Tudor England, across the restless harbors of colonial Boston, and far deeper still, into the ancient valleys of Peru, where one of humanity's earliest cities rose from the earth. The medieval peasant's winter was harsh, with long nights, biting winds, and hunger always at the door. Their homes, built of wattle and daub, stuffed with straw, dung, and mud, stood fragile against the cold. The hearth was the lifeline, its embers carefully banked with ash so it would glow until morning, and warmth was shared in sleep, with parents, children, and even livestock gathered together. Heavy wool cloaks, smoked meat, and stored grain kept families alive. But survival depended most on community, on neighbors sharing tools, firewood, and labor. Faith and whispered prayers carried them through the storm, reminding them that resilience was not a choice, but the only way forward. From these cottages of frost, we step into the dazzling and dangerous Tudor court, where Anne Boleyn rose from a clever and ambitious young woman, educated abroad, to capturing the heart of Henry VIII. Refusing to be only a mistress, she demanded marriage, and in doing so, she changed the course of English history, driving Henry to break from Rome and create the English Reformation. As a queen, she wielded influence but also made enemies, her wit and her failure to give Henry a son becoming her undoing. In 1536, whispers of treason and betrayal became charges that led to her trial and finally to her calm walk to the scaffold, where she met her end with dignity. Though she perished, her legacy endured in her daughter, Elizabeth I, who would one day shape England's golden age. Across the Atlantic in Boston of the 1770s, tensions with Britain grew heavy. Taxes on stamps, sugar, and tea bred anger, and groups like the Sons of Liberty plotted in secret. On a cold December night, they disguised themselves as Mohawk Indians, boarded ships heavy with tea, and split open the chests, spilling leaves into the harbor. The water turned bitter with defiance, for this was no reckless act, but a deliberate protest against taxation without representation. The Crown answered with fury, punishing Boston, but instead of breaking the colonies, it bound them together, uniting voices from north to south and sowing the seeds of revolution. Long before Boston, long before Tudor courts or medieval winters, another city thrived, Caral in the deserts of Peru. Nearly 5,000 years ago, its people built pyramids, plazas, and irrigation systems that gave life to the land. Unlike other civilizations, Caral left no signs of war, no weapons, no fortifications, but instead a legacy of trade, music, and ceremony. Bone flutes played in ritual circles, fires burned in sacred pits, and the stars guided the alignments of their temples. Here, civilization rose not through conquest, but through harmony with nature, cooperation, and reverence for the cosmos. Across these centuries and continents, the truth remains the same. Whether in the cold of a medieval night, the ambition of a Tudor queen, the defiance of colonial rebels, or the peace of an ancient city, the human spirit endures, always searching for warmth, for meaning, for freedom, and for harmony. And as these echoes of the past fade into silence, may your own mind rest easy, drifting into dreams, where history still whispers in the quiet of the night.